that this class is going to be recorded. And as a recording, when the class is over, if you'd like, you can have me send you the class via email.
Oh,
the
awesome.
very same class that you've already attended. Exactly. So you'll be able to hear your questions asked again and my answers, etc. This class itself is the online store class. And the online store class focuses on 4 things: the ability for your customers to book their own appointments through your website, the ability for your staff to check their schedule through your website, the ability for your customers to buy gift certificates through your website, and the ability for your customers to buy products through your website. If any of those items are of no interest to you, just let me know and we'll skip them. Other than that, we'll cover them all.
It was booking online services as well as having the staff be able to check their books. Is that correct?
That's right. That's one of the features. The online booking allows your customers to book their own appointments. It also allows your staff to check their schedule online.
Okay. So I know just from a supervisor who wanted me to record this, I think since we already have the store set up just fine with the online retail and gift certificates, that wasn't necessarily their focus. It's mostly just being utilizing the online booking for the clients is what we wanted to learn more about.
That's fine. No problem at all. So we'll go ahead then and focus on that. And when we're done, I'll let you know that we're done with that section. And if you want me to continue, that'll be fine. And if you're done, you just let me know.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Okay, so first things first. In order to set up the online store, we have to create what's called a storefront, even if you're not going to be using the storefront. In other words, you're not going to send your staff there. You're not going to send your clients there. You still need to set up the storefront because it's going to create the feel for what they're going to be doing. And so how we do that, we click on this button that says online. That's the button between live chat and Darcy. And when we click on that button, it brings up this setup online store window. The first thing we need to do is fill these fields in. And don't worry, I know it looks a little bit confusing, but it's really very simple. So where it says existing website address, that's exactly what it's asking for. You're going to put in your website address here. Where it says email address, now you don't actually have to have an email address in here if you don't want to. However, by putting an email address in here, that email address will be used by the system to contact you if somebody in fact books an appointment online or buys a gift certificate online or retail product online, etc. You can be notified through that website. Through that email address, excuse me. Next, the terms and conditions. Now, this is entirely up to you. When you first look at this, this is just an empty white box. You write whatever you'd like to write here. So your terms and conditions based on what you're activating. If you're activating appointments online, then whatever your requirements are for that is what you're going to write here. Next is something called the bottom message. The bottom message is nothing more than a tiny line of text. Basically, it's like a fine print. It's the tiny line of text directly under the page of the storefront that your customers can see. Now, what I've seen it is something like what you see here, Pro Solution Software Inc., 2011 to 2017, all rights reserved. I've also seen something as simple as, if you have any questions, please call, and then a telephone number. So whatever you'd like to do there, you can put there. Next, we have the API login and the API transaction key. If you are not going to be selling gift certificates through your website or selling product through your website, you can ignore these. However, if you plan on doing either of those, you must get your Authorize.net login and your Authorize.net transaction key so that you can accept credit cards through your website.
Got it.
Next, we have main image, side banner image, and bottom banner image. These are the actual images that are going to be on your page. So let's take a look here. I'm going to pull up the page. Okay. So this is what the page might look like. I say might look like because you're in control of the banners, you're in control of the colors, the buttons, etc. You're even in control of the actual verbiage that's used. So, and even the colors of them, etc. So you're going to try to give it a look and feel that's similar to your website. Okay, now how is that done? Well, let's take a look here. I'm going to go for main image, I'm going to click on upload. If you are using the cloud version of our software, then you can only upload a JPEG. However, if you are using the installed version, then you can upload a GIF, a JPEG, a TXT, or a PNG. The file itself cannot be larger than 500,000 bytes. That's 500K. Cannot be larger than that. So I can hit browse, and now I can go to anywhere on my computer I'd like to go, and I can pull up images that I want to be able to use for my, whoops, that's not where I want to be. Where is it? There we go. To set up my store a little bit differently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose some different imagery here. So I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to upload that and close. So I just changed my main image. And so let's take a look. So here we are. I'm going to refresh my screen, and now you can see there's a different main image. Okay?
Right.
Because I get to upload whatever I want. So let's change our side image now. We'll go with this woman jumping and upload that. It just takes a couple of seconds. As you can see, it's done. And now I'm going to upload the bottom banner and upload. And done. Okay, so I've uploaded 3 new images. So let's take a peek. Let's refresh. And now I've got 3 new images. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my main color. The main color is the color behind your images. So if I was in Appointments Online, this is what my Appointments Online might look like. This color doesn't really match my new imagery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this box, and that allows me to then choose from a list of colors. And if I want, I can even, after I've chosen a color, define it further. I don't have to, but I could. So I'm going to add that to my custom colors, and OK, and save. Well, let's take a look. I'm going to refresh. And now it's starting to take shape, starting to look a little bit more like I want it to look. Let's go back in here. My background color. This is the color on the left and right here. Now you'll notice this color on the left and right, it looks like a lot of wasted space. And yeah, on a PC or a Mac or something like that, it is a little bit of wasted space. But this is designed to be used on your smartphone as well. And that's why it's in this shape, okay? So that your customers can use their smartphones, your staff can use their smartphones to do what the things are that we're going to be doing. So I'll choose my background color. I'll go with this blue perhaps. And save. There we go. And let's refresh again. Let's take a look. Now it's starting to take shape, starting to look a little bit more like I want it to look. But I don't like these buttons here. This green here is not working for me. So I'm going to go down here to my button colors. So I'm going to change it from green to blue and save. All right. So refresh. And now my front page looks the way I want it to look, because I'm trying to match my website. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now that I've got it set up so that it matches my website to the best of my ability, what I really want to do now is I want to set up the features that I wanted to use. Remember those 4 features I told you about? Appointments, gift cards, and retail. And Appointments has 2 features, which is why there's 4. The ability for your staff to check their schedules and the ability for your clients to book their own appointments. But before we get to those, we need to finish a few last things on this page. The font size. We need to choose our font size. The default is 3. We recommend you either leave it at 3 or maybe make it 4, but don't go any bigger than that. Next is the font name. We already have defaulted Arial for you, which we recommend you leave it at. It's the easiest font to read online, or at least it's a very easy one to read online. You can choose a different font as long as that font is installed on your computer. But again, the crazier you get with the font, the more difficult it's going to be for your customers to read. We suggest sticking with Arial. Now, my font color. You're going to make your fonts anything you want them, any color you want them to be. But note this. If your main color is a light color, then make sure that your font color is a dark color so that you have the contrast so that they can read it. If you had a main color which was like a dark purple and you chose a black font, it's going to be very difficult to read. So if your main color is dark, your font color should be light. If your main color is light, your font color should be dark. That's all I'm telling you. Next, the hyperlink color. throughout these pages are hyperlinks to get you from one page to another. And I've said, if you have never visited this hyperlink, it's going to be this color. Again, you just click on it, choose the color you want. So that's the color I like. In fact, I prefer that one. So there we go. Now, my previously visited link. If you've already visited this link, I want it to be this color. So I've chosen burgundy. Then if you bring your mouse over a particular link, I want it to turn bright pink so that you know that you've in fact put your mouse over that and it's ready to be activated. And then finally your active hyperlink color, I just went with the same color I went with for my hyperlink colors. So once I've done that, I save. And again, I'm done. Now I can start taking a look at the different features I have. Remember I told you about those hyperlinks. So home, store, and sign up are burgundy. Why? Because I've already visited them. Watch what happens when I bring the mouse over them. Turn pink, just like because I told it I want it to be pink. This help button I've never clicked on, which is why it's still blue. Lost password I've never clicked on, which is why it's still blue, but operator login is burgundy because I have visited that in the past. So that's what I'm talking about, the colors for your hyperlinks. Now, I want to be able to have my customers book their own appointments online. So I need to press this appointments button, and it brings up a brand new window for me. Set up online appointments. Again, we're going to start from the left and work our way down, then we're going to move over to the right and work our way down.
Okay.
So first is our welcome screen message. Again, this is a blank white box, so you write into it whatever you'd like it to say. So you'll notice here is those words right here. Welcome to our online booking feature. If you've not yet registered, et cetera, et cetera. So that information is right here. Now I'm going to change where it says Lisa, and I'm going to change that to Alyssa and save. And now I'm going to refresh, and it says Alyssa. The point that there is that whatever you write there is going to be instantly seen by your customers.
Okay.
So, you know, you want to make sure that it says what it is you want it to say. Next, let's go here. Okay, so after we've written our welcome screen message, then we have our confirmation message. When your customers are finished booking themselves an appointment, then they're going to receive an email. And that email is going to start with whatever you put here. And so what I've written is, and you can make it say whatever you want, what I've written is, congratulations, you have successfully booked your appointment online. Write whatever you'd like there. Then the cancellation policy. This is precisely that. Whatever your cancellation policy is, that's what should be written here. During the process of their own appointment online, they will be shown that cancellation policy at least 2 different times.
Right.
And in the follow-up email, they will also receive that cancellation policy. So it's important that you put the actual cancellation policy there. Next, under that, we've got our show prices. So if this is left gray with the X, what that means is that you are going to not show your service prices. And there's a good reason for that. You might have, everybody might be charging different prices for the same services at your salon or spa.
Right.
Or maybe prices vary based on, you know, what type of hair they have or what type of skin they have, whatever it may be. So you may say, you know what, I'm just going to put in there the prices may vary and I'm not going to show my prices. But if you do have it checked blue with the plus sign, then your customers will in fact see your default salon or spa prices for the services.
Okay.
So that's up to you whether or not you turn that on or not. Next is hours in advance. And I've got a 1 here. Well, what does this mean? When you get it, there's nothing there. You're going to put a number in there. Hours in advance means this. If it is 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and I would like to book myself an appointment at your business at 9:15, you may not want me to do that. You might say, you know what, if it's 9 o'clock, I don't want them to be able to book any earlier than 10 because I want an opportunity to see what's been booked. I don't want people to surprise me. So by putting a 1 here, this means that at 9 a.m., the earliest appointment they would be seen is 10 a.m. If I put a 2 here, at 9 a.m., the earliest appointment they would see would be 11. A 3, the earliest appointment would be 12.
So it basically blocks out your time by an hour.
For appointments online, yes. That's exactly
Okay.
right. By however many hours you put in here. So if I put a 24 in here, you know, that would mean the earliest that appointment that they would see would be 9 o'clock tomorrow morning if it was 9 o'clock this morning.
Right. Got it.
Okay, so I'm putting my 1 hour in here. Now, the next thing I have here is max days out. Max days out works the same way that hours in advance works. The difference is it's days instead of hours.
Yeah.
So in this case, if I put a 1 here, then the earliest appointment they would see would be tomorrow. If I put a 2 in here, the earliest appointment they would see would be the day after tomorrow. By making it a 0, they can book appointments for later today.
Right. I see.
Okay. Next is my cancellation policy. You're going to put in the actual number of hours here. So if you're saying 48-hour advance notice is required, then a 48 belongs here. If you're saying, you know, your cancellation policy is a week, you know, you could do something like that. Well, then it would be 24 times 7, and that would be the total number you put here.
Right.
That makes sense? Okay. Next, when somebody books an appointment online, that, you know, I'm going to ask you to hold on for just one moment. Hang on.
Sure.
I apologize. I just didn't want to sneeze in your ear. Okay.
Fine.
So now, if somebody books an appointment online, that appointment is going to have a particular unique online color so that you know that that appointment was booked online. And you do that simply by clicking on this and choosing whatever color you want to go with. You could even define your custom colors like we talked about earlier. I like
Right.
this hot yellow. You go with whatever color you want. So remember, though, appointments have black lettering on them. So don't go with anything really dark or it's going to be very hard to read.
Right.
So I've got my hot yellow here, and then I've got my next thing is only book on the. Now I've said only book on the hour, but you've got these options on the hour, on the half hour, on the quarter hour, on the 10-minute, and the 5-minute. Some people get confused with on the half hour. They think that means that you can only book at 12:30 or 1:30 or 2:30. Of course not. On the half hour means, you know, 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30. And on the hour, of course, just means 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, etc.
I see.
On the quarter hour, 10, 10:15, 10:30, 10:45, 11, etc. On the 10-minute,
I have a
go
quick
ahead.
question. I don't know if it can be answered necessarily. So say you're opening up this online booking system so that they can book every hour, you know, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3.
Uh-huh.
Is it possible to block out certain hours that you would not want to offer? So say every day your online booking, you want it available, but you only want to have it open for a 1 o'clock or 2:30 or a 5 p.m.
Oh,
Or
I'm
is
sorry,
it-
no. The system is going to look for openings that they are scheduled for. So it's not going to give your customers an option if your staff member is already booked. But
Well, right. Okay, so if you wanted to delegate certain times, you probably just have to put like a break
okay,
on.
if what you could do is create a block out. So for instance,
Right.
let's do something like this. I'm going to go into my appointment book here, and I'm going to go over here to Anna, and I'm going to say I don't want her booked any time prior to 3 o'clock, okay? So what I'm going to do is, let's see, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. My time is going to be, 7 hours, and I'm going to place the block out. I'm going to call that my, I can call it anything I want, but let's say that I'm going to call this my finish time just for the heck of it. So by doing that, that does not prevent me from booking other appointments with her. So I could still manually pull up somebody like Marnie here. And
they just want to be available for the clients online doing it themselves.
That's right, because if that time is already booked, then Anna would not be available. Now, where the heck is Anna? What does she do? Let's go back to my all groups and find Anna here and check out her price list. What does she do? Okay, she does nails. That's what I needed to see. All right, nails. And we'll go with our French manicure. And so here's Anna, and all of this time is blocked out, which means that she could not have an online appointment booked at this time.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I couldn't manually override and place a French manicure here. So I could do that, and I could still check this person out. just go here and go to checkout, and I can still process the sale, et cetera, et cetera. But because that blockout is blocking out all of that time there, then she will not be able to be booked online. That's right. Okay, that would be the only option, unfortunately, for you. Okay, so let's go on back here, and let's go back to appointments. Okay, so we have now chosen whether we wanted, like I said, book on the hour, the half hour, the quarter hour, the 10-minute, or the 5-minute. I would never recommend 5, 10, or quarter hour. You can do it. That's why it's there. But I don't recommend it. And the reason for that is, let's say that you had 5 open hours on a particular day. Well, if you had 5 open hours and you were only allowing to be booked on the hour, that would give your client 5 options.
Right.
On the half hour, that would give them 10 options. On the quarter hour, it would give them 20 options. On the 10-minute, it would give them 30 options. And on the 5-minute, it would give them 60 options. It's a little ridiculous. Yeah. So again, we recommend hour or half hour just to keep it clean for your customers. I'm going to stick with on the hour. Next is over here where it says operators. This is going to be a list of your staff members, and they're all going to be blank. In other words, all of the boxes next to them will be open. If you put a check in the box, that means that that particular staff member cannot be booked online at all. So you put a check next to Debbie. Debbie can't be booked online. Uncheck her, now she can. Put a check next to Maureen. She cannot be booked online. Uncheck her, now she can. So checks restrict your staff members. Then we come down to our groups. These are the groups of services that we offer. Any group that we put a check next to cannot be booked online. Only the groups of services that are unchecked can be booked online. Once again, the check in the box is a limiter.
Got it.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have our individual services here. So I might offer services like massage. Notice it's not checked. So massages can be booked online. But maybe there are certain massages I don't want booked online, like a head 30 or a micro back or a physical therapy 30 or a shiatsu 30. So even though I allow massages to be booked online, there are individual services that maybe I don't. For instance, a great example of that is waxing. A lot of people allow people to book waxing for brow wax and underarm wax and leg wax, back wax, things like that. But because a consultation may be required for a Brazilian wax, they say, you know what, I'm not going to let a Brazilian wax be booked online, but all the other waxings can. And that's why that benefit is there. Make sense?
Right. Yeah.
All right. So once you have set up all of this and you put your checks in the necessary boxes, if any, you press save and you're done. We can save and exit. Now, when your customer goes to your website, they can have a URL on that website that has been turned into a button. And that button might say something like, click here to book appointments online. So your customer clicks that button and they are taken to this page. And they can read your message here, and they can create themselves an account and assign themselves a username and password. And then once they have assigned themselves a username and password, they are then able to put that username and password in and press log in. And they can be doing all of this with their finger. And by the way, once they put their username and password the first time on their smartphone, it saves it.
It saves it. I have a quick question. I guess that kind of answers it. So the online booking, it's not necessarily you could say almost like an app for your web page. It would be a redirect to a new URL.
We do offer an app that has these same features and many more, but this is not an app. This is a web page, but you can access it through your smartphone.
Got it. Okay. So it just to clarify, it is a separate URL that it brings you to when you want to book online.
That's right.
Okay.
So now I have choose service group. So if I'm your customer, I'm going to click on this with my finger and I'm going to be given this list. And now I can choose something like hair. And then after I've chosen a group of services, it's going to pull up all of my staff members that work within that group. And I click that button. And I get, excuse me, not staff members, it'll do that in just a moment. What it does is it chooses every service that's available in that group. So I can choose a service like a shampoo set. Then it will give me a list of all of my employees that can provide that service. So maybe I go with Debbie. Then it asks me to provide a date that I want. And maybe I'll go with Friday the 28th. And then check times. And what it's going to do now is find all the available times that Debbie has for Friday the 28th. And because I said only book on the hour, I'm only being given hour options. So I'm going to go with 1 p.m. and continue to confirmation. So it takes me to my new page here. Below are the services that you've chosen to be scheduled. Shampoo set at 1 p.m. on April 28, 2017 with Debbie. I can book the appointment. I can add another service to my cart, or I can wipe it out and start over. Now notice it says 48-hour advance notice is required. Remember that? I told you that they were going to be
showing. Yeah, right.
So now I'm going to go ahead and press this button, Book Appointment. And it says your appointment has been booked successfully. Services that have been scheduled for you. Shampoo set at 1 p.m. on 4/28/2017, and it knows it's Bella. Thank you, Bella, for booking with us today. We appreciate your loyalty. Also, Bella just got an email. Also, the 48-hour advance notice is once again there. Let's take a look at what happened in the software. So let's go to tomorrow. And look, there's Bella. And it's the bright yellow that I had requested. It's for a shampoo set with Debbie at 1 o'clock, and it says web next to it so that I know that it was booked online. So as you can see, it worked very nicely. Now, let's talk about something a little bit different. What about your staff? Your staff would like to check their schedule for today or tomorrow or this weekend or next week, whatever it may be. Your staff is not going to be using this same form here, the username and password here. Instead, they're going to press this one that says operator login. And now they're taken to where it says enter your username and password, and they're going to put in their username and password. I created one for myself, Matthew, and log in. Now show appointments, or book appointments, or log out. I'm going to click on show appointments. Then I get to choose my date range. Maybe I want to see what my appointments are for tomorrow, or maybe I want to see what they are for next week or next month even. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to click on the first one here, and it's asking me, what is my first date? I'm going to say today, the 27th. And to what? And I'll say, oh, I don't know, let's go with tomorrow, or Saturday, the 29th. So I'm going to look at today, tomorrow, and Saturday, and look up appointments. And if I have any, they're going to appear. And here we are. April 27th at 9 a.m., Geraldine Idrizzi for an anti-curl. April 27th at 10 with Karen Jackson for a blow, dry, and curl. And April 27th at 12 with Carmen Jackson for a Brazilian blowout. That's what I've got, meaning I don't have any appointments for tomorrow or Saturday.
Right.
Now, if I had only selected tomorrow, and as you can see, I don't have any appointments, but let's go ahead and do it. Let's go with tomorrow. And, whoops, that's May. Let's go with April 28th. There we go. And hit look up appointments. And it's going to say no appointments found. So if you don't have any appointments in the date range that you selected, that's what it's going to tell you. If you do, it's going to list them for you, along with the name of your customer, the time of the appointment, and the service date. And all of that is done right through your website, right through your smartphone, right through your computer, however you have internet access, and you can get to your business's website, they're going to be able to get to this. And when they're done, they can log out, or they can go back to return to operator booking menu. They can book appointments as well. Now, if your staff member is having lunch with a girlfriend and she says, hey, do you think you can fit me in tomorrow at 3 o'clock? They could go right to their phone and book an appointment. Okay, but you need to understand that that will only work if that client is already in your database.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that. We'll go ahead and log out there. Okay, so that is the ability for your customers to book their own appointments through your website, as well as the ability for your staff members to check their schedule through your website. Now, where do you get your staff members' passwords and usernames from? And how do you create them? Well, that's the actual password section of your software. You don't have to give them any rights. If they have rights, fine, but they don't have to. All you need to do is go to Setup, Configuration, General, Passwords. If you have not already created a master password, it'll ask you to create one. But if you have, like I have, it'll just ask you for it. So I'll go ahead and put in my master password. And then I can put in a new password. It's got to be 7 characters, at least, and it must have at least one number and at least one letter. So, for instance, I'm going to create a brand new password, ALYSSA123. So I just created a password called Alyssa123. And then I'm going to say who it's for. And I'm going to say that it is for Melinda. And my effective time, I'll say, is 3 minutes. And the username is Melinda. So even though the password is Alyssa123, Melinda is who it's for, and accept. Done. Let's book some appointments for Melinda really quick. We'll just go with, doesn't matter. I'll just do one so you can see what I'm talking about. We'll go with Maria. And Melinda, I believe, does massages. I lied. Waxing, perhaps? Yes, Melinda does waxing. There we go. So we'll go with a Brazilian wax, and we'll do that at 11 o'clock with Melinda. That's only 15 minutes long. That seems a little silly. Let's go with a full leg. There we go. And choose my room, and booked. Okay, so Melinda's been booked. She has an appointment with Maria DeCuna for a full leg at 11 o'clock today. So if Melinda came to this screen, she clicked on it, she came in here, she is going to put in her username, Melinda. She's going to put in her password, ALYSSA123, and log in. And it works. And now I go to show appointments, and I put in whatever my date range is. So let's go with today. And look up appointments. And there is Maria DeCuna for a full leg today at 11. Awesome. So that's all you need to do to assign your your staff members their username and passwords. That is it for appointments online and staff scheduling online. Okay. Would you like me to get into selling gift certificates online or selling product online, or would you like me to end the class and email you the video?
Yeah, I think that provided a pretty good basis of just figuring out the online booking. As mentioned, we have our online store already that's working okay for us. So I'm not too sure with my supervisors if they wanted to update that. But the audio would be fantastic, and I will pass it along to them.
You've got it. What is the email address you'd like me to send it to?
info@facemagicsskincare.com.
Facemagicsskincare.com. Boy, I thought ProSolutionSoftware.com was long. All right. Okay, then I'll go ahead and get that out to you immediately. You should have it probably within the next 45 minutes or less.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much. It seems
my pleasure.
Pretty straightforward here, so thank you.
Excellent. Alyssa, you have a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.